The reason why I say that is because in America, when you buy a property, you lock in the mortgage interest rate for 30 years. Whereas here in the UK, the maximum you can lock in the interest rate is about 10 years. And generally, people lock it in for about between 2 to 5 years. So it changes the dynamic and a lot of the assumptions you can make about renting versus buying. So I've actually compared a few of the different websites. I might make a separate video about the pros and cons of each, but my personal favorite is the Smart Money Truths Rent versus Buy calculator. So remember the assumptions that we made just now about how long you want to stay in the property for and how much money you can make if you invest a deposit in an investment. So basically, it asks you all this question in the Smart Money Truth calculator. So let's key in the numbers. So the rent, if you were to rent, is £3,250. We're assuming the rent increase of 8% per year. Property price, £630,000. You're planning to stay there for 5 years. Mortgage rate is 4.5%. That's the assumption we make. Deposit 10%. Mortgage length 25 years. And then this is what I like about the Smart Money Truths that a lot of other websites don't have. So it asks you the property price growth rate per year. So in this case, we're assuming 1% per year. And assuming if you invest in the S&P 500, you can generate 5% return every year. So in this case, the monthly investment what you're buying. Okay, this is another one that I like, but I don't think is perfect. So the mortgage is £3,152, and your rent is £3,200, so the difference is £98. So the assumption is that if your mortgage is lower, you have £100 left over every month that you can invest in either the share market or any sort of investment that you're good at doing. I personally think this assumption is flawed in this website because then you have the service charge and maintenance, which you have to pay the freeholder. And that is the money that you have to pay every month or every year, but that's not taken into consideration in this case. And service charge will easily be, more than £100 a year. So in this case, I'm just going to assume it's zero for both, just so that it's easier for us to calculate. What I like about this website that a lot of other websites don't have is it takes into consideration of stamp duty. My very small pet peeve is that this is outdated because this was done in 2022. And those of you might know in April 2025, the stamp duty calculation has changed and generally the stamp duty has increased. So in this case, for a property worth £630,000, the stamp duty is actually £21,000 as opposed to £19,000.